They disguised themselves as zombies and raised an army of 1,000 walkers. Hello all. This is Jacobson and this is a brief retelling of the 11th and 12th episodes of the 9th season of the zombie series The Walking Dead. You can see the previous episodes at the links in the video description. As soon as this video gets 300 likes, I will release the next part. Also leave your comments, it will help promote the video. Have fun watching it.
In the flashback, both Carol and Jerry are in a clearing in the woods. Jerry informs Ikea and Carol that Navila is pregnant, and the jubilant congratulates him. Suddenly, Jesus and Tara drive up to them. Tara tells them that she has left Alexandria, and before leaving, she passes the community charter to Ikea. He promises Carol that someday the community leaders will sign it all together. In the present, Ikea looks longingly at the charter in the kingdom. Diana informs him of plans to go deer hunting. Outside, everyone is preparing things for the fair. Carol catches up with Ezekiel and decides to accompany him. At the hilltop, Ennett treats Earl for an injury and offers him to retire, but he refuses. Tammy thanks Enid for her help and assures her that Alden will definitely show up. Then Mark runs up and informs that the people who killed Jesus have come. Outside, Alpha and the Whisperers are waiting for Lydia to be brought to them. Daryl asks them to leave, and the Alpha signals for more Whisperers to appear. Magna asks Alpha if they killed her people. Alpha says no, and promises that if they don't bring her Lydia, there will be a conflict. Meanwhile, Coney is hiding in a cornfield nearby. Daryl decides to go outside to talk to Alpha face to face. In the forest, Ezekiel offers Carol to go with another caravan to the kingdom, and he goes with another group. Carol senses that something is wrong and explains that he and his men have planned a small side mission to grab something for the fair. Carol agrees to go with him, and they go to an abandoned movie theater. At the hilltop, Daryl goes outside, and Alpha instructs one of his men to bring someone. Daryl informs Alpha that he is ready to fight with her people so that she does not return Lydia, until he notices one of the Whisperers with a child. Alpha explains that they are animals, and animals have children. Suddenly, a pair of Whisperers brings Alden and Luke bound and gagged. Alpha offers to exchange them both for his daughter. At the cinema, Carol explains that she wants to find a lamp for the projector, but she is understandably upset that they are risking a lot for such a trifle. Ezekiel explains how important this can be for the family, and she agrees. Jerry then uses a tape recorder to distract the walkers from the theater. There is a herd in Hilto, and Alpha orders his men to distract them. Luke spots Coney in the cornfields and tells her in sign language behind her back to keep quiet. Inside the house, Daryl informs Neat that he is going to make an exchange when Magna says that Lydia Henry is missing. He tells everyone to split up and find them. He gives their scent to the dog and sends him on his way. Outside, the Whisperer's baby starts crying, which attracts walkers. Alpha shrugs, indicating to the mother that she should leave the baby to die. The mother removes the sling from her shoulder and puts the child on the ground. Alden and Luke try to shout at them not to do it, but Alpha explains that this is natural selection. Inside, Daryl discovers that Henry and Lydia have disappeared from the cell. Eddie says he knows where they went. She and Nit go in search of them, and Daryl is delayed. Outside, the guards are hitting the fence to distract walkers from the child, but this does not help. Luke frantically orders Coney to grab the baby, and she runs out of the cornfield, shoots the incoming man with a slingshot and grabs him. The Whisperers around her draw their blades, and the horse runs back into the cornfield. Daryl runs in and kills the walkers around her, and Kelly, Tammy and Earl save her. Back at the cinema, Carol helps Ezekiel remove the frame from the movie poster to use it for his charter. Carol suggests that if the fair doesn't unite everyone, they should stay at the hilltop. Meanwhile, Jerry carefully takes out a lamp for the projector, and Diana accompanies him. After he packs the lamp into the lining, walkers suddenly attack, causing him to drop the lamp into the theater teeming with walkers below. In the woods, Henry and Lydia are hiding in a cabin when Amit and Eddie show up. Henry refuses to give up Lydia, but Enid explains that Alden and Luke's lives are at risk. Enid tells him about how she saw the death of her parents and how Carl told her that she should live not only for the sake of survival. Henry is torn, and Lydia offers to give herself up to save their friends. She kisses Henry and leaves. Back at the theater, Jerry tells Ezekiel about the lamp, and he decides to leave, but Carol intervenes and develops a plan for her return. They deal with the walkers, take the lamp and finally hit the road. When they leave, a strange symbol appears on the back of the road sign. In the hilltop, Daryl gives Lydia to Alpha in exchange for Alden and Luke, who are embraced by a group of Enid and Magna. Lydia says "I'm sorry, Mom," for which she gets a strong slap in the face. She orders Lydia to address her as Alpha, just like everyone else. She then smiles at Daryl as they leave. Later, Henry tells Daryl that what they did was wrong, but Daryl reminds him that they had to do it and they'll just have to live with it. At night in the kingdom, and Carol put the letter in the frame and kiss while Jerry turns on the movie projector. At the Hilton, Magna's group drinks, Enid and Alden sleep together, Tammy Earl takes care of a new baby rescued from the Whisperers, and Henry leaves his bed. Outside, Edie gives Daryl a note from Henry, where he writes that he left to find Lydia. Nearby, Coney, sitting on a table, stops Daryl and writes him a note, stating that he wants to go with him. He reluctantly agrees, and they hit the road. In the forest, Alpha asks Lydia about her stay in the hilltop. She talks about their farmlands, supplies and weapons, but is silent about their relationships with other communities, such as the kingdom. Alpha is disappointed with her lack of information. In Alexandria, Michonne berates her council for keeping her in the dark about their radio assignment. Gabriel argues that they should be more open to new communities, but Aaron reminds him of the Whisperers and that they should trust Michonne's discretion. Siddiq claims that she is not always right, her decision to sever ties with the kingdom proves it. Michonne takes a hard line and declares that she is not ready to sacrifice her people to save the kingdom. Later, Gabriel briefly tells Rosita about his problems at the council. He did not elaborate, and she started talking about her pregnancy, saying that she wanted him to stay, despite the fact that she was carrying Siddiq's child. Elsewhere, Henry catches up with Lydia and the Whisperers and watches them at close range. One of the Whisperers asks him to lower his staff, but Henry knocks him out. Suddenly Beta grabs Henry from behind and throws him in front of Alpha. The Alpha asks him questions about it and threatens to break his arm. Henry gives up and says that he came alone to pick up Lydia. She calls him stupid and slaps him in the face. Alpha decides that Henry will go with them. Back in Alexandria, Eugene shows Gabriel his carefully documented calculations of risk and benefit, whether he should stay with Rosita or not. Gabriel waves him off, but Eugene warns him that he would be a fool if he let her go. He then offers him a new pair of sweatpants to give to Rosita as a peace offering. Back in the woods, Alpha asks Lydia why she didn't mention Henry, but she replies that he's not worth mentioning. Alpha reminds her that he just risked his life to save her, so she must be lying. They stay in the Whispering Camp, which is full of people without walking masks. Alpha instructs Betty to tie Henry to a tree and bring Lydia a new mask. In Alexandria, Michonne visits Negan in his cell to ask why he came back. He tells her that he could have smashed her head in her house, but decided not to. Michonne suggests that he actually tried to try the outside world, but was spat back out when he found nothing. He confirms her theory and suggests that she start trusting him if she is not going to kill him and that he could help her with her problems. She refuses him and then sees Judith watching them from her cell window. In the woods, Coney and Daryl are looking for Henry and realize that the Whisperers have caught up with him. They kill several walkers, and Coney smiles as Daryl gives orders to his dog. At the Whisperers' camp, Beta removes the skin from the walker's head to use it for Lydia's mask. A man and a woman Whisperers approach her and ask why she broke her own rule to leave people if they are taken away. They point out that they abandoned 2 people for her daughter. "I don't like this math," Sean whispers. Alpha reminds them that she did it to get information. Sean challenges her leadership role. The Alpha laughs in his face, grabs the man from behind and puts a long knife to his throat. Alpha confirms that he has the right to challenge her position, but she has the right to defend it. Then she turns her attention to Helen and says that she is the one who wants to become the new leader. Helen tells Alpha that she let everyone down by exposing them to danger. Alpha tells her that her people are voluntarily following her because she ensures their safety. Alpha wraps a wire around Helen's neck and beheads her, while Henry looks on in horror. Then the Alpha gives the head to Sean, tells him that crying is for the weak, and stabs him in the stomach. At their house, Michonne asks Judith why she was spying on her before. Judith says that she was actually there to see Negan, and says that she sometimes talks to him out of sympathy. Michonne calmly explains why this is a bad idea, but Judith claims that he really listens to her. Michonne firmly demands that she not approach him, because he is a monster, and if he is released, he will continue to be a monster. Judith reminds her that he came out and wasn't a monster, proving that he has changed. Michonne says people don't change, but Judith responds, "You've changed." Michonne sends her to her room and starts crying. At the Whispering Camp, Lydia reveals to Henry that she still has the wooden coin he gave her hanging from her necklace, signaling that she is secretly supporting him. In her tent, Alpha tells Betty about the time before the apocalypse when she hit Lydia hard for nearly suffocating in a dry cleaning bag. She tells him that people do everything they can to protect those they love. "We have to be ready when they come for the boy," Beta says. They both agree that Henry can be useful, and they need to find out if Lydia really has feelings for him. On the field, a few Whisperers are gathering a herd while Daryl and the horses are watching them. In Alexandria, Gabriel visits Rosita to discuss everything. Eugene watches them from afar and smiles. Meanwhile, Michonne comes to Aaron to inform him that she has decided to allow the council to send a delegation to the Kingdom Fair. Aaron objects, but Michonne says people should be able to decide for themselves. "I hope we won't regret it," says Aaron. Later, Alexandria prepares a caravan with food and supplies to be sent to the kingdom for the fair. At night, Beta takes Henry to Alpha. She forces Lydia to take a knife and tells her to kill Henry to prove her loyalty. Lydia starts crying when she approaches Henry. Alpha warns her not to be weak like her father and that if she doesn't kill him, Beta will kill them both. Suddenly, a small herd of walkers appears and begins to eat the unmasked Whisperers. Alpha and the others quickly put on their masks to try to scare off the herd, while Daryl and Connie come disguised as Whisperers to rescue Henry. They grab Henry, who grabs Lydia, and together they run away.